Welcome everybody to Not for Broadcast. We're gonna do a series of videos where we're just gonna be kind of talking about what's going on in the Dota scene. I'm here with my casting partner Avery Silverman, aka SCG, aka LOA, aka Bone Daddy, and we're gonna be going over like the hot topics, Dota hot topics and hot takes, and talking about just kind of what's going on in Dota. Isn't that right, Avery?
That is absolutely right, Austin. I have so many things that I wish I could say
Gaming
that I never get to
all
say
their supporters.
because I would be fired.
That's right.
That I will say here and get fired here instead. So I'm very excited.
Yeah, you know, I gotta say that when talking to Avery and trying to get him to do content has been an interesting tug of war, where Avery is okay to do it, but he wants, I think in his head, certain things. He wants it to be kind of good.
Yeah.
And then we somehow settled on something that I did not expect. I thought it was going to be deep analytical breakdown. Instead, we're doing a lot more opinion-based, just off the hip fucking ramming, which is not what I was expecting.
I mean, shit talk goes a long way. I feel like Dota has enough analysis. Dota has enough people making videos. You can go out there on YouTube. You can watch anybody analyze Yatoro or Maposhka or XM or whoever, and they're going to have the latest trend, and you can go figure it out, and you can analyze all that, and you can gain like 50 MMR. Or you can just shit talk people, which is way more fun. So that's what I want to do. I just want to shit talk people. That's it. I enjoy it. I enjoy being shit talked too. I enjoy delivering it as well. That's why we're here.
You know, there's a long cry from the original Avery Silverman coming into casting, who wanted to have some respect for the game and didn't want to clown around too much.
Yeah, I don't have
how much things have changed in 2 years.
I don't have any respect left for this game, honestly. I think if you have respect for this game, you are stuck in the nostalgia 90s of Dota 2. I mean, it is an interesting point, like how much of the Dota prestige still exists, how much of it lingers. Are people stuck in their old ways? How much do we need to respect the game? I respect the game when the game respects me, okay? So when the game is played at a level that's respectful, I respect it. And when it's played at a dog shit level that doesn't deserve respect, you clown around and you should talk some people, which is the entirety of the NA servers right now for the last like 3 years. You know, I have no respect for anybody playing on NA servers, including myself. No self-respect, which goes hand in hand, right? So if you're gonna play on that server, it's a great example. I just don't have respect for those games. They're absolute dumpster fires, and I don't want to pretend that they're not anymore. So that's a good example.
As you can tell, Avery just got back to playing solo queue again after kind of like a month-long break after due to Dream League and stuff like that. So
yeah, I took a month off. I go back in, I boot up my stream, play first game, instantly grief. The guy just, before the game even starts, he gets drafted first by some dude, hates him, shit talking him in the chat, just breaks his items, runs down a lane. You know, he has the old move follow command on a dude. That's a classic. That's a classic. I respected it. The game ends in 8 minutes. Go next. Already minus 30 MMR for the day. You know, why do I play this game? All of a sudden, you're just back in that headspace. I have no respect for the server because there's nobody on the server has any respect anymore. Okay, it's all gone.
So when it came to drumming up the content ideas, we were going through what exactly we were going to be doing. Was it going to be some deeper analytical think pieces on certain, you know, controversial topics? Was it breaking down Dota in some way? Was it going to be hot take stuff? We're still kind of figuring out what this is exactly. You guys let us know what you like about it. We're going to be trying to do it regularly, especially since we got a little bit of time with Birmingham coming up and not much work going around. So we're going to talk about some of the stuff that's going on right now, which is Elite League that is happening right now. Avery and I are going to be casting some of the playoffs for that later on, but due to that, we've been, or at least I have been watching some of the group stage, and I feel like, Avery, you probably have too, just because you're a degenerate who watches a lot of Dota.
This tournament had a lot of group stage games, to be honest. I know the format's always a contention, but this is too much group stage for me. I mean, you had 2 full group stages and then a full round robin. Like, ain't nobody got time to watch all this shit, I'll be honest. Like, what is, you know, you go to this Liquipedia page, it's something out of the Library of Alexandria here. It's like 1,000 games over like 10 days with every team. Like half the teams in this tournament were made for this original Swiss stage. Like you're telling me, you know, Rest Farmers and KEV and these teams, nobody knew these teams even existed before this Swiss stage. I'll be honest. Like right now, name me the 5 players on Rest Farmers.
Zibe.
Okay, yeah, you got one of the 5. Like, congrats, right? I'm not saying these guys are bad. Like Hanskin, Zibe, they've been around for a while. I mean, I guess they're bad because they got 0-3'd, but like, my point is this thing was huge, dude. Why is it so big? Like, why is it so big?
This tournament is going on from March 31st to April 14th, so well over 2 weeks. The playoffs is only played for 3 days. Yeah, it's just Friday, Saturday, Sunday is the playoffs. Everything else is group stage.
I don't understand this format at all. I mean, I guess they're getting some viewer hours, and like you get all these teams in it. You know, you get your Secret and your Enigma. It's kind of hype, but then they get trashed, and then you got to go to another group stage, and it's like, oh, now who's gonna get trashed in this one? Turns out it's some more European teams, and it's like, I don't know, dude. C's back to the dumpster. It's every classic, and then after all of this, after you play like 1,000 matches, Team Spirit get turbo last. You go into
all right.
You go into the actual tournament. No, I'm not done. You go into the actual tournament, and it's like 8 matches, 10 matches, and then you're done for $1 million. Is this Dota? Is this the modern Dota tournament?
How much did you watch of this?
A lot, to be honest. Too many games for me. Too many games. Overwhelming. I look at the
also
end
too
game
early
screens.
In the schedule for you.
Yeah, timing was not good on this West Coast. I'll be real. That's a rough one. But I do go through and look through all the game post-game screens and itemizations and what people are playing, this sort of thing. And since I am a Dota veteran, my ability to glean information at quick glance is accelerated compared to the normal person. The series I particularly liked was this Bet Boom Boom series.
Wait, you mean the dead rubber match that didn't matter for shit?
Yeah, that was a good one. I think this mid Bane is actually not that bad though. I know they were playing it as a joke, but like, I think this Bane Ags is one of those broken Ags in Dota.
Okay.
In the right game, like where you don't have some like easy cancel to it. It just auto kills a hero. It's kind of stupid if you think about it, but no one's willing to play this shit. So.
Did he go around Nightmare solo killing people? Did he have like a right click build Nightmare?
No, he had a 24-minute Ags.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he went Dragonlance. He was just slaying nerds. You also don't really see triple psychic headband and all. So I thought that was actually a cool game. I think
you didn't watch so many of these matches, but you took the time to get the information about the one match that didn't matter.
Yeah, that's a good one.
An actual match that did matter was going on, which was Azure Ray OG.
That wasn't. We all knew what was gonna happen there.
We did not know what was gonna happen. It was
we all
1-1.
Knew. Yeah, I feel like that was an expected outcome. Like Azure Ray are just really good at tying when they need you. You know what I'm saying? They like always get through the stage by 1 point. They're never gonna dominate some group stage. They're never gonna flunk out. They're always just gonna be right above the middle. That's how I view this team. So I feel like they're right above the middle. Unfortunate for OG is they go 7-7 and get eliminated.
Yeah.
So they actually needed that game. Feels a little bad. But, you know, they got to play Zeus on the way out. So that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I was happy when you get to play Zeus on the way out. Well, I guess Ari wasn't too happy, but...
Yeah, they did. They did a swerve where they picked Zeus and then ran in 4 position and picked Drow Ranger.
I think they just got out drafted this game, honestly. Like, they got Lesh Lifesteal in the last 2 versus a lineup that doesn't deal with Lesh with the extra HP. This was the combination from last patch when Lifesteal was Omega broken. I just don't see OG winning this game. But that's me, you know.
I would say the teams that went through, some names definitely expected. Falcons, Liquid, Xtreme. I think those guys are all kind of shoo-ins. Game and Gladiator for sure. PSG Quest, very likely that they were going to be able to make it through to playoffs. There were a couple of names missing on that list, though. OG being one of them. OG failed to qualify for the playoffs. Similar situation to Dream League, where I felt like they did pretty well. They made it through Group Stage 1, got to Group Stage 2, were a contender to make it to playoffs, but end up falling just a little bit short, as you said, with a score of 7-7. They only lost to Team Spirit and Entity in a 0-2. Note Team Spirit, also Entity, but mostly Team Spirit as a name that I did not say going on into the playoffs, as they actually kind of bombed out. They were eliminated relatively early on with an overall score of 5-9. What's going on with them, Avery?
Yeah, they got boomed. They got literally boomed out of this tournament.
Yeah, which one, Bet Boom or Boom?
Both. Like, they both boomed themselves. This team was all over the place in terms of lineups. I feel like when Team Spirit is lost in a meta, they're like really lost, you know, because this team revolves a lot around what Collapse wants to play and how he's going to drive the game, and that is just all over the place. Like, they were, you look through this team's drafts, they were playing everything. I'll tell you one thing, right? When a team is playing Clinks, you know they're fucked. Like, that team ain't doing shit in that tournament. When the Clinks comes out, you're absolutely desperate for a dub. It did come out in Game 2 versus PHG Quest. Yotaro played Clinks. He went 6-8. Actually got to some okay items. But you're just not going to win because you're playing Clinks. And it's one of those things like a month from now, you're going to look back and like, why the hell were we playing Clinks, guys? This hero is never good. It will never be good. Valve does not like this hero. And they will never like it. And you just accept that and move on. So if you're picking it, you're desperate in the patch. Maybe they're just fatigued, honestly. I feel like this team just won so much big stuff, like it fatigues you. And you can't be good forever. But I am more surprised. You mentioned Xtreme Gaming. Expected. Yeah. You expected them to do well.
Yeah, I mean, why not? They're a good team. Why wouldn't they make it through? I thought they were very good at Dream League.
I also expected them to do well, but I think this team they're a bit of like a Trojan horse, man. You know, and what I mean, it's like they're really good at sneaking in there. But then what happens? What happens after they come out of the horse? Nothing. It's all just a fake. It's just a ruse.
I thought the whole point of the Trojan horse, you get inside and then you dominate because now you're inside.
Yeah, but this is like, there's like 5 dudes in the horse, they pop out, and you're in the middle of 1,000 dudes, and you get slaughtered. Okay. These guys are just a bait. I'm telling you, every tournament I watch, I'm big on this team. Oh, it's Ame. Oh, it's Jinkyu. They got like part of the dream team reunited. I love these players too. And they dominate the group stage. Every group stage they go to, they're top 1 or 2 at. The last 4 tournaments, they've been top 1 or 2 in their groups, I believe. Mm-hmm. I'm making that up. I don't know, but they have been. And then what happens? They don't do shit for the rest of the event. So what is happening with this team? Is this just the greatest group stage team of all time? Is that what is happening right now? We are witnessing the greatest group stage team that can't do anything in playoffs of all time. It's like they start winning, they dominate. They're like, well, yeah, of course we're owning everybody. We have Ame, and then they like take their foot off the pedal when it comes to the playoffs, and then you're like lose one series, and then they start to scramble. Oh shit! Like, what are we doing, guys? We gotta get our shit together, and then it's too late. I don't know. There's something weird about this team. I'm telling you, if XG bomb out of this playoffs, don't come crying back to me when you lost all your money betting on them because you're like, it's all me. They're top of the groups. Don't come crying to me, bro. I'm telling you, this team is something about it. So, and I don't want to hear no bullshit of like, oh, they played Falcons in the round 1. Like, I don't want to hear that shit, okay? Because they played a bunch of other teams in these playoff brackets and fell too. You know what? I'm sad. It makes me sad. It makes me sad, Austin, because I'm a big fan of these players.
You know what's funny? You're not wrong. When you said...
Jinkyu is one of my favorite players.
I do know that.
So I'm not lying.
When you said, are these guys, do they just get top of the group? I don't even know. I didn't even check. They were top of the group of Bet Boom Dacha. Yes, top of the group. Yes. Games of the Future, GESC group, but still top of the group.
Yes.
Dream League, top of the group. Yes. So they were top of their groups
the last
every single time. And
this is the 4th event.
And their results are 7th through 8th at Bet Boom Dacha, so bombed out for sure. If you're top of the group, you get 7-8. That's terrible. Games of the Future, they won. Whatever. Okay, that tournament's whatever. Dream League, they got 3rd, which if you're top of the group, that's the minimum. I feel like if you're top of your group, you should be top 4 guaranteed.
That's acceptable. That's an acceptable outcome.
So,
but what are these others? What is this team? No one's talking about this shit. I've never seen a team with such consistent high group placement that does not translate it as high as we expect. Because all these other teams that are top of, let's look at the last year, man. Who was top of the groups of like the last year? I'll tell you who. Gaming Gladiators, Liquid, Bet Boom, were always in that like top 2 to 3. And if you remember, for some of those tournaments, BetBoom would place high in the groups and then they would drop out. But they rectified that a bit. So maybe it takes time. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not giving XG enough time here. But traditionally, you do well in the groups. Like you should at least have 1 or 2 of those tournaments do well. And obviously, not everybody who does well in the groups can do super well. But they dominated some of those group stages. It wasn't. They were beating good teams in those group stages 2-0. And then when it comes time to playoffs, I don't know. Like maybe Ame's hero pool is just not big enough yet. He's still rusty. I don't know what it is. It feels like they pigeonhole themselves a little bit. Like at some point they get figured out a bit. XM can only play sniper. You know, we hear people say, "Oh, you can only play sniper."
He only plays weird heroes, not just sniper, but weird heroes, right?
Yeah, like he's a Viper sniper player, so maybe people just ban sniper and then their win rate drops by like 30%, and that's enough to just lose a playoff series. I don't know, but this team is bizarre to me. I want to see how they do here because this is the 4th tournament in a row they've been top 2 in the group, basically top in the group. They're 1 game off Liquid, whatever. It's basically top for me. They tied with Liquid, so they're even with them in my book. And what are they gonna do with it? They have to play Falcons. I'm telling you, don't give me that excuse of like, well, it's Falcons and you're the best team in the world. I mean, there's always a best team in the world. It should be you. Like, you know, if you're XG sitting there and you lose to Falcons, you're like, oh well, they're the best team in the world, guys. No, you should be like, we're the best team in the world. Falcons should be saying, why do we have to play XG, the best team in the world, with the best carrier player in the world on it? So I'm still waiting for it, man. I'm still waiting for it. And it seems like they're just slipping under the radar. Like this dream team from China that is consistently leading, consistently falls. What's happening? I'm just asking the questions, Austin.
You just ask the questions here. Just ask
I'm just asking the questions. I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but like, I want to know.
Okay.
You know?
Oh well, I want to talk about one more team before we get out of the eliminated teams. I want to talk about OG. OG went 7-7. You talk about you know, there's always the best team in the world. Somebody's got to take them down. Well, OG did take them down. They took them down in a 2-0 in the group stage. It still wasn't good enough. They were in a bit of a hole. They got that 2-0. I thought, damn, this is what's going to propel OG out of the hole that they're in this group stage and get them up to that top 4. They fell 1 game shy. But yeah, they managed to take down Falcons in a 2-0. The first time that has happened, Avery, in 2 months. They have lost series before, but they have not been 2-0'd for 2 months, and that was all the way back. I think it was maybe even longer than that. It was the very second series of BetBoom Dacha is where they got 2-0'd by Team Liquid in the group stage.
I mean, it was, what is it, 28 series streak or something?
Yeah.
Another ridiculous streak for the history of the Dota books here. But yeah, if there's going to be a player that ends it, it's probably Seb. This guy hates people who win, so he's probably extra motivated. He's like, nobody wins 29 times versus me. I'll tell you guys that. And just busted their ass. I don't know, that's kind of interesting. It's also interesting the last team to do it was Liquid. I do think Falcons, if they run into trouble, is going to be these European teams who can match them in the laning phase and then actually play Dota versus them. Because versus a lot of these other regions, they just stomp them in the lanes and the game's effectively over, even if it takes a long time.
Yep.
That's basically their best strength, in my opinion. So, if you can match that. The thing is, OG isn't really known for that. They just outplayed him in the series. I think it was just a bad day, bad series for Falcons. They underplayed, OG overplayed, and they looked really good. I was really impressed. I'm like, damn, yeah. OG's going to show what they're made of this tournament. And then it's like, oh, damn. We're going to show them next tournament. But, like, they got that W. That's some good motivational fuel. They're like, yeah, we didn't go deep in the tournament, guys. But, like, we beat the best team. So then maybe your floor's not too high, but your ceiling's, you got a good ceiling now. That's some good faith.
I'm very disappointed they did not make it into playoffs because I saw something in OG and the latter part of that group stage, their game against PSG Quest, their game against Falcons, even their first game against Azure Ray. I think that they have some ideas, some movements, some team fight stuff that is like extremely top notch. And I'm going to say, hot take, I think they actually would have performed better in playoffs than some of the other teams that are currently there, like G2IG. I think you replace G2IG with OG, and I think OG would have done better in the upcoming playoff series that it's going to happen.
You're thinking they would have done better than G2XIG with legendary manager KBBQ Jack Chen
yes.
leading the front, leading the boot camp. He has rectified this team. By the way, did you expect G2IG
No.
to be 8-6 in this group stage?
No.
2-0 Team Spirit, 2-0. The thing is, when you look at this now, though, if Spirit were just awful, if Spirit were just off form and sucked ass, who did G2IG really beat in this group stage?
They beat Entity.
They won one to Azure Ray,
Yep.
who, interregional, who cares?
Uh-huh.
2-0 Team Spirit, who are now certified garbage at this event. 2-0 Entity, which also got eliminated.
Yep.
1-1 to OG, also eliminated.
Uh-huh.
And then lost to the other interregional, or they lost to PSG Quest. So I keep thinking it's a Chinese team.
Yeah.
God damn, that sponsor got me.
Yeah.
And then they 2-0'd Heroic, who was the worst team in the group. So they beat all the... Basically, their metrics versus the bottom teams are very good. Their metrics versus the good teams are very bad. So I still have kind of little faith in this team to go deep. Because if you're looking at, like, power metrics here or something, you know... Okay, you beat the trash. I mean, the trash is at the bottom because they get beat, but they did not beat any of the upper teams in their group.
Yeah.
A little concerning because now you're going to go into playoffs and you're only going to play good teams. So I want to see what they can do. This team has some promise. I believe in my boy Jack Chen. I think the roster does make some sense. I think they have skilled players. NTS is still a beast. But this is another team where it's like, what was their last good result on land?
Well, G2IG, I don't think they've ever had a good result on land.
Right. So, you know, their last good result on land was NTS on LGD. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for it. This name is really big. We want it in Dota. I want them to do well.
Yeah.
But at some point, you're going to have to actually do well. So maybe this is the event. They have a good shot here. Can't be afraid of some XTI winner with a bunch of European slouches
That's true.
who don't play Dota.
And
You know,
maybe your group is just stronger than the other group. Which your group had no Western European teams making it through to playoffs. Group A had Falcons, PSG Quest, both MENA, and Azure Ray and G2IG, both Chinese teams. So none of the Western European teams managed to make it through, but specifically OG, Entity, not even Team Spirit, the Eastern European team.
So you're saying Europe's
make it
weak.
through.
So if you go and play Liquid, you're happy because Liquid's just the best of the weak region.
I mean, could be, because Group B, the three teams who made it through the playoffs there, Team Liquid got first, Xtreme got second, Chinese team, and then Tundra, Gaming Gladiators are the ones who slided in third and fourth. So 3 out of 4 Western European teams. So if you psych yourself up with the mantra that Western Europe is no longer the most dominant region, then maybe Group B is weaker than Group A. I don't believe that, but, you know, you could trick yourself into believing that.
I believe it. This Nisha guy doesn't play pubs anymore. They're not gonna win. You can't win a tournament if your mid players play pubs. I refuse to believe that's
okay.
possible.
So apparently he has never really played that many pubs. He is a replay watcher.
Yeah, I've heard that too. Which, I mean, that's good. You know, I'm not gonna say anything against watching replays. I'm a big replay fan. You can learn a lot in replays. Watch your replays at home, boys and girls. But the fact that it's coming to light, will that have a mental effect on the team? If you're sitting there next to him, you're thinking like, damn.
What do you mean come to light? You think the team didn't know about this already?
Maybe not.
They got informed by Reddit that the guy sitting next to them at the boot camp isn't playing as many pubs as he is?
Maybe just assumed the whole time. Maybe it's a mentality thing is what I'm saying, right? Like now you didn't think it was an issue before. You were used to it. You were doing pretty well. But now maybe you stumble a little bit. Maybe you have a rough spot, and then it's creeping in your brain. Now you're asleep at night, and it's come back in your mind right before you go to sleep. Like, yo, Nisha doesn't play any pubs. And you're like, oh shit, that's why we're losing, you know? Because you got to find something to blame on the team.
Okay, I can believe that if you are speaking from the perspective of Neta. If you're saying 33 thinks about it at night, and he went from one of the ultimate grinder teams in Tundra to now a team that maybe doesn't play as many pubs. And he's like, God damn it, we won that TI, not you guys, Nisha. Start playing your fucking pubs.
That's what I'm saying, man. Those players grind each other's gears. You know, the guy who's in there 20 games a game and the guy who's in there 0, even if they're equal impact and skill and they're both doing well, I'm telling you, man, it's a bad long-term recipe. You gotta find ways to amend that shit and make it work. Not easy. So I have absolutely zero faith in Liquid to win this tournament. Now they might get to the grand final and get another second. I think that's pretty likely, and it'll be another great finish for them. But I have 0% for them to win it all. I'm giving.
I'm actually pretty certain that second would actually make. they would be unhappy with second. I think they'd be happier with third.
I don't know who's gonna win this tournament. Actually, the more I look.
Okay, that's what I was gonna lead to. We're coming up on 20 minutes, or we've already passed it. So, Team Falcons gonna win it all again? Is this team untouchable?
Dude, you can't win forever, man. You can't win forever. I'm gonna say.
Yeah, but it's the same patch.
That's true.
It's mostly the same patch. The big patch is coming next. You know, you could say, oh, this will be the downfall of Falcons, where the big patch comes in and they nerf Amar and Malreen's player pool. You know, their hero pool, rather. They nerf those guys as the Huskars, the Timbersaws. You know, they take those out. Then you could say, oh, well, you know, like, can't win forever in Dota. Things change. It's hard to keep up and be the best at everything, you know. But right now, they're the best at what's being jammed.
All right, here's my weird prediction. I think Falcons is favored to win unless it's Liquid in the finals. I think Liquid in the finals will only beat Falcons. I don't think Liquid versus any other team in the finals wins, but Falcons.
Why? What?
Because I think Falcons Kryptonite are these European strong laning teams. I think Liquid's good enough.
Then why wouldn't Game and Gladiators beat them?
Because Gaming is just in a slump, dude. I don't have faith that they're gonna like win it all. I think they can go deep here. They can make a lower bracket run, but something about them's not clicking. I think the meta is significantly worse for them right now than it is for Liquid and Falcons. Like between those three, just way worse. The hero pool for Ace is garbage. None of these summons are in. None of these like big clunky team fighters are in. These Underlord Tide Hunters, you know, you can kind of play them, but they're not amazing. It's all this, just like it's still these same ATF hero pool, Timber, Mars, Doom, whatever. Like that's still what's working, even though it got nerfed. I think 33 plays a lot of that in his own cheesy way, and I think Falcons play it. But I think Liquid have the laning phase to contest Falcons, and I think they're motivated, dude. I think they're motivated. I think I can see it. You know, they have the guy who plays all the pubs. They have the guy who plays no pubs. That sometimes just is weird enough to get you that dub. You know? But I think they'll only be Falcons. I think if it's Liquid versus any other team in grand finals, they're gonna get second.
Okay, what about the other Western European team you haven't mentioned, Tundra? Are they just not good enough yet?
I don't think they're gonna win this tournament, but I think I could see them win one or two series. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. They're like a weird team.
But you don't think they could stand up against Falcons in the finals?
I don't think Tundra has enough consistency yet to win like a BO5. You know, that's tough.
Yeah.
You need consistency and like really good leadership and drafting to do that. And I think that's the part that's missing for me for them in terms of that consistency. I think their ceiling's really high. I've actually been impressed by how well their cores work together because I don't think Thompson's an easy player to make work. And I think they've done that. But I think they still need more time, which isn't a bad thing. I don't think they're like a bad team. I think I've been pretty impressed by their qualifier runs and the lower bracket runs and the resiliency and all that. I just think they're too hit or miss for me right now compared to a Liquid or a Falcons or an XG in the group stage. Maybe that's what XG stands for, dude. Extreme group stage. They're just extremely good in the group stage.
Extreme group stage. Okay.
Yeah, there's no P for playoffs in XG, so they're dumb.
Expert groups. XG. There you go. Expert at groups.
Sure. Expert group stage players.
To back you up on the Tundra thing, they were the ultimate tie team. They tied every single series in Group B except for the win against Boom. They didn't even beat Blacklist, who bottomed out at 2-12. They gave Blacklist one of those wins. So it really could not be
consistency.
Yeah,
not there. It's not there. You're just dropping games all over the place, right? When you win, it looks great. When you lose, it looks real bad. Over best of threes in the playoffs and in a best of 5, that really, really hurts you because you need to get the second win somewhere, and sometimes that second win is the hardest win to get by far in the series. The first one, like I could take, you know, I could get my dad to play Dota for a weekend. He can maybe get like one win off some team on like the right day, you know. But to get two, that's a whole different bargain you have to make. So I don't have faith in them to win the whole tournament. So I'm going with Liquid Falcons, maybe Gaming if they can make the run. But I only think Liquid win if they play against Falcons. I'm saying that now.
Okay.
And if that happens, you have to give me $2,000 off.
Well, we'll see about that. If we get a sponsor for this series, maybe you'll get the $2,000 from them. But we're gonna close out now. This kind of wraps up the group stage of Elite League. You're probably watching this, and playoffs are probably just started or already going on. We're gonna be casting some of those games. You guys can check us out there. We'll probably do another one of these after the playoffs, or maybe even middle of the playoffs. If something comes up, current events wise, when it comes to Dota, we've had some crazy news that's been popped up here and there. Maybe we'll do an episode on, like something like Taiga or stuff like that. Anything, guys, you wanted to hear us talk about? Fucking let us know. Drop it in the comments. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.